Overload of the Knicks win over the Pacers. We'll hear from Rick Carlisle coming up in a little bit again. Extremely upset over the officiating, not just at the end of Game 2 where an inadvertent whistle was overturned and the Knicks kept possession of the basketball. He's upset overall at all of the calls saying small market teams need a chance to compete. We'll get to that.
Well, is he wrong?
Well, of course they do. But yes, I mean, is this what if every single call was going the Knicks' way, these games wouldn't even be in debate. So what he's saying is basically the Pacers are so much better than the Knicks that the first 2 games should have been the Pacers winning by 30.
That's right.
Right? That's what he's saying. They're so much better, the Pacers winning by 30, which is ridiculous.
Well, I did like the fact that he called out Thibodeau, especially.
Yeah, so like
he goes out, he complains, and he changed the call.
I mean, what Rick Carlisle said, okay, timeout.
It was like youth basketball, youth soccer, youth softball. You can't let the fans call that.
No. Let's get into this right now, what Rick Carlisle is really upset about. We'll get to the MVP in a few minutes. All right, Rick Carlisle. He's upset. The officiating is bad. He gets thrown out after the call tonight, which is a call everybody is looking at. In the last couple minutes of the game, the Knicks had the lead, and the Pacers had hit a couple of baskets to cut into it, but the Knicks still had a 6-point lead, and Isaiah Hartenstein was trying to dribble the ball past half court, right? The Pacers were pressing, and there was a whistle. And it looked like they were going to call a double dribble, like that's what one of the officials were going to call, and they stopped and talked about it and said, no, it's an inadvertent whistle, and the Knicks keep possession. And you watch the replay, nothing happened. There was no double dribble. Isaiah Hartenstein was dribbling with his left hand, and so basically what happened was Rick Carlisle is mad that a call that his team didn't get, that his team shouldn't have gotten. He wanted that call. He was so mad. He was yelling at the officials and screaming. He's on the court yelling, what is this all about? And then in the press conference, you heard him say, well, I don't know what happened there, but Tom Thibodeau jumped out on the court and argued it, and the call got changed. Okay, yes, because that's exactly what happened. First of all, you're on the court further than Thibodeau was. Secondly, there was no call. It was an inadvertent whistle. If you want to be upset about a call that's something that actually happened. You're upset that, we should have got the ball just because the officials blew an inadvertent whistle. No, got to give us the ball. Like, what are you trying to do, man? Like, I don't understand. You're just so desperate and out of control, and I'd rather him just take ownership of the fact that, A, you couldn't beat the Knicks even though they had a dinged up Brunson, and Anunoby left the game with an injury, and there's no Mitchell Robinson, and there's no Bogdanovich, and there's no Julius Randle, and you're still down 2-0. And by the way, you still could have gone home 1-1 had you left your bench guys in, because those are the guys that were playing well. McConnell was playing extremely well. Obi Toppin was playing well. Your bench was plus 42. Your starters were minus 70. But let's not focus on that. No. I want to talk about the officiating, and specifically a call that my team didn't get, that wasn't a call. I wanted that call. How ridiculous do you sound when you're talking about, I think we should have got the basketball just because they blew the whistle. Like, this is how insane this is sounding right now out of Rick Carlisle and the Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes in, you think over the course of the 2 games, preponderance of evidence is that you've gotten jobbed. In this case, the inadvertent whistle becomes the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. Because you think that you got a whistle and inadvertent. It's funny because I was watching the end of the Champions League game earlier. I don't know if you saw this. Bayern Munich may or may not have gotten screwed by an official, an AR, who got a little excitable with his flag, thereby causing a whistle. But that's neither here nor there. But for Rick Carlisle, that was the one where it was finally like, all right, what are we doing here? Right? You were able to huddle together. You overturn this and you decided, okay, it's an inadvertent whistle. But I think it just speaks to the frustration overall. One, he's not getting the defensive effort that he wanted on the glass. You could fight all you want about, where there's enough contact to draw and call a foul or not. That's part of the frustration that was going on with Denver in Game 2 against Minnesota, right? Where a number of times you're seeing Jokic or Murray jostle. It's like, hey, it's playoff basketball. You're not getting that call here, right? And that's one of the things I think the Pacers need to react to, too, is, all right, with Josh Hart and Hartenstein and company being as active as they are, whistles aren't going to be free-flowing, and Carlisle's got to know that. And if they'd actually hit their free throws that they did earn, then maybe you've got a different game down the stretch. But you didn't do that either. So I think it's just all of that coming together, perhaps in the moment, realizing, Obi Toppin might have been able to give us some stuff, not only as a rebounding force, but a guy that was hitting the shots from the outside. And McConnell's energy, even though he seemed to be a good agitator for Brunson to get him activated. Right? I mean, because they got after it, and Brunson suddenly I'm not taking from this guy. And so he turned up a bit after that. But for Carlisle, yeah, I mean, it's 2 games of all sorts of frustration, and that call ended up just being the thing that stands out most.
Yeah, no, and I get a lot of the frustration, right? I get a lot of the frustration from him. But I just go back to the Sixers series. The Sixers spent so much time worrying about the officiating and what happened. They went home in 6. Right now, the Pacers are doing the same thing. They're worried so much about the officiating and not what they should have done to either win Game 1 or Game 2. Right? I mean, you're going to sit back and say, hey, we're still so upset that we would be up 2-0 if you had given us that kickball with 55 seconds left to go in a tie game.
Well, it's funny.
We would have won that game. I mean, come on.
But, I mean, you break it down, right? They had more offensive rebounds than the Knicks did. The points in the paint and points off, second chance points, etc. All of those were basically even for this game. So it comes back down to you allowed them to shoot 57% from the field. I don't mean to be a broken record, but all of that goes out the window if you actually can rotate enough to kind of get a little bit of a body on guys when they go to take what becomes an uncontested jump shot.
You go back since to 2000, all right? Because what we like to do here on the show is we know you have a lot of choices. There are a lot of choices for your entertainment time, and you can do it in many different ways. You can listen to us, you can listen to something else, you can listen to music, you can watch TV, whatever it is. And what we want you to do is to know about us, right? We want you to know us and feel like you know us because you listen to us every night. So we tell you about things in our lives. We want you, hey, I know this guy on the radio. I know what's going to happen, and I want you to think that, okay, when something big happens in sports, you're thinking about one of us, whether it's one of my teams or your teams or Frostberg. If Teichert likes sports, it would be with him too, but instead it's about anime. So, we want that. That's why we talk about this, because we want you to feel like you know us.
Yeah, you could love or hate us just like your relatives, the people in your house, or the guy down the street.
You have a lot of choices. And thank you so much for choosing to spend so much time with us. It has been awesome, and we love doing this. But look, to be quite honest, this whole thing, in the going back to 2000, okay? Now I had Syracuse's national championship run, which is great, right? But you're talking about professional sports. There's been 2 playoffs where I felt like this, where I've been this excited about the postseason. The Mets in 2015 and the Knicks right now. Like that, and that's it. Like that's it. Mets in 2015 and the Knicks right now. There's not a laundry list of Mets playoffs that I can look back at. Well, you know what? 2012 was good. 2009 was great. 2006 was fun. 2006 was awful. For the Jets, the same thing. I think of, okay, well, the Jets had the AFC Championship games, but in back-to-back. But boy, that was like a miracle. One win they had to get there. This run just has been so unbelievably exciting. That I can't even say. Look, the Jets run back-to-back AFC title games were good, and that was so much fun.
You got the butt fumble.
Being that close.
That's true.
Yeah, the butt fumble happened. But the absolute most fun, where it's just felt like it's this magic carpet ride that I don't know when it's going to end, and I'm going to enjoy it for as long as it happens. Mets in 2015 and the Knicks right now. I mean, that's really where it's at.
No, it's it, right? I mean, the Blackhawks in 2015, and then everything else precedes you. Yeah,
Jeremy Roenick crying when the Blackhawks won the cup on the air.
Some great Northwestern runs, but those games are on Saturday. By the time we come on Monday, we're talking about the NFL Monday Night Football with 1 or 2 lines about those Northwestern squads.